Yo, what's up guys? It's me, Spiderman here, and currently we are back on the good old tier maker website. So as you can tell by the title of today's video, we're going to be ranking every single game based off of gameplay, story, and just overall things like that. So if people have different tier rankings based off of things, then I highly suggest putting them down below in the comments. As you can see, I added another tier called Haven't Played, because there are some games on this list that I currently have not played, and there are 4 of them. Ultimate Spider-Man is kind of that odd one out type situation, because I have played it, but it just wasn't like a version where you have like a thumbstick and stuff like that. It was on my Game Boy Advanced. Obviously we're just back on this tier list, so we're gonna start. I have not played Spider-Man Original, Spider-Man 2. I have not played Web of Shadows, and I have not played Web of Shadows. Not played Friend or Foe. From what I can remember, I might have played it that odd once, but personally, I just don't remember playing it, so I'm not going to add it to this video. As you can tell, the time down here says 9:14. It's actually 7:56 p.m. It's not actually 9:14 p.m. But so yeah, I guess we're just gonna end up ranking these games based off of their tier list. Just give me 1 second. There we go. Plugged my headset back into my microphone so I can hear what the heck I am saying, just to make sure that I'm actually saying things correctly and stuff like that. So essentially, we're gonna go down the list in order of release date. So it's Spider-Man Movie, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, Ultimate Spider-Man, or sorry, Spider-Man Movie, Spider-Man 2 Movie, Ultimate Spider-Man, Spider-Man 3, Friend or Foe would be there. Then we have Web of Shadows. Then we have, I'm pretty sure, Shattered Dimensions, Edge of Time, Amazing Spider-Man 2, and then Spider-Man PS4. So we're only actually going to be ranking 10 of these games because I have not played 4 of them. Except for Ultimate Spider-Man, which is that odd one out, which I will explain that once I get further into the video. So essentially, well actually, if I rank Spider-Man 1, then I can technically rank these 2 games because they're honestly all similar except for the console that they're on and what they're based off of. But that's all that I'm going to say for that. But yeah, so also some of these games, I haven't fully played through them. Like Spider-Man, Shattered Dimensions, and On. So these 5 games right here, I actually have personally played. Where Spider-Man 2, I've beaten like half of the game from what I can remember. Spider-Man 3, I only got through like a quarter of it. Spider-Man, I only got through like not the tutorial stuff, but I never got to the point where he actually gets like the Spider-Man suit. Ultimate Spider-Man, it's kind of in its like own little pocket where I played it, but it was on a different console than the ones, or like different console besides the ones that which you cannot like free swing around. It's only just like level-based missions, like a side scroller. And then Web of Shadows I have played, but I haven't played through the entire thing because for some reason the game's audio was kind of bugged out. So just take these games with heart. I have watched most of their playthroughs on YouTube, so I can essentially base the gameplay and then the story off of those. So Obviously, we're going to start off with Spider-Man 1 movie. So how I'm going to do this is that I'm going to have every single game at an A, and then it's going to go down a tier based off of things that I say, and then it'll go up a tier, and things like that. So if I honestly wanted to put this in an A, then I would not, or I wouldn't think that it would have like the same type of feeling as these two games do, because I've seen gameplays of these two and they kind of did like a similar thing where you can only web swing in like one certain direction. So already we're starting this off as a B, and you can't like fully web swing everywhere, but that didn't come until Spider-Man 2. So I'm actually going to keep it back up at the A, but it kind of is like the same stuff as this, so I'm going to keep it at a B. As far as like story goes, it wasn't too bad. Like obviously you had like the Green Goblin in there. You had Vulture and stuff like that. Like I don't remember exactly what characters were in this game, or like villains and stuff, because I only watched like the walkthrough of it once. So I don't know, like the store or like the main villains and stuff that were in this game but were kind of forgettable, so it's kind of like a C now, I'd say, at least. And as far as the graphics go, they weren't actually half bad, so I think a C is actually a pretty good spot for this game. It's kind of like in the middle of everything, and I'd say that it's alright. If we got another game like it, it would have to be better than this, but now games have web swinging, or free web swinging, except for Edge of Time and Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, but that's only because they honestly just have, or they're all like story-based games instead of these ones, which are like free swinging plus story-based. Alright, now Spider-Man 2. So, depending on where I rank this, this might be a controversial opinion, because instantly everybody would drop it off at an A and then go right to Ultimate Spider-Man if they were probably doing this type of a video. But I'm going to start to say this. Spider-Man 2, this game was really fun. It had the first version of free swinging wherever the heck you wanted to go, essentially, throughout New York. And now it's kind of getting like overplayed and stuff like that, and people don't seem to enjoy it as much. Especially when it came to Insomniac's Spider-Man game and Miles Morales. People were kind of saying like, yeah, cool, it has web swinging and all, but it's the same spot, so we kind of want a different spot. And plus, after a while, you get tired of swinging around New York City, but this was the first game to do it, so it's still going to remain at an A. And plus, the web swinging in this game was actually really fun, too. So, we're going to keep it at an A. As far as the story went, it was pretty good. They had some of, like, the same reoccurring villains from Spider-Man 1, from what I can remember. And, like, the first boss fight that you technically went through was Rhino. And then I also ended up playing through like the part where you get to Black Cat, and I think the next villain after that, but I don't remember entirely. And also this game was actually really good looking graphically too, compared to like Spider-Man and Spider-Man 3. These games were both pretty good graphically looking, and I'd honestly keep this game at an A. It was really good, and it was the first game that introduced web swinging, so that has to be a plus, because we wouldn't have web swinging wherever you wanted to if it wasn't for like Treyarch and them putting it into the game and making it so that it was possible. And also the story and stuff like that, and the combat was pretty good in the game too. And it made you actually feel like you were basically Spider-Man swinging around wherever you wanted to go for the time of when it was released. And I still have fond memories of playing that game, restarting it from the very beginning, because for some reason I think my PlayStation 2's hard drive or storage thing was kind of weird, or I just never saved the game. I don't know what it was. It was probably because I didn't save the game or something like that, and I just kept on replaying and replaying it. But anyways, so next we're on to Ultimate Spider-Man. So the reason why I said that this game is kind of like the outlier of the games is because I played it on the Game Boy Advanced. I didn't play it on console version. I never found it on console version. I never played it on PC because I never found it for that. But if I were to have found it for that, I would have definitely have played this game, because after looking at like gameplay and stuff and looking at like walkthroughs and things like that on this game seems really fun, and it also looked really good because it made you feel like you were in a comic book, and that personally just like feels really good. And as well, it looked, and like from the story and stuff, it was actually pretty good. They had some of like the villains that you see in most Spider-Man games as well, but you can get past that point because this game was also one of the games that I think introduced alternative suits. I could be totally wrong about that, and it was probably like Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions that first introduced them. I'm not keeping that game at a C. I just placed it down there just so then I could do my mouse. But besides that, it was actually pretty good. The only thing that I think would have made this game a little bit better was if, like, I don't know, if I played it on like a different console, because the version that I played it on, it was almost like a side-scroller game, but as a side-scroller game, it was fun. And the final Carnage battle in that version of the game, which if you haven't played it, there was a Carnage battle back when I was like 10 or 11 years old. That Carnage battle as Venom was super difficult to me. I had to restart that over and over and over and over and over. It was really annoying, but anyways, so I think I'm going to place this at a B. I had fun playing it on the Game Boy Advance. I even replayed it just to see if it was like the same type of game and if it was as fun as I remember it, and it was. And now we move on to Spider-Man 3, which instantly I'm just going to drop this game down to like a C, possibly. Because I don't know how they went from both the, like, all three of these games looking far better than Spider-Man 3. I personally do not know how the hell they managed to do that, but they somehow managed to do that. They managed to make it so that the game looked worse. The dialogue was kind of strange, and like just like the graphics and overall like build of the game seems like it was kind of like in like a beta mode, and it seemed like they had to put it out, because I believe if like this game had more time, they had more time to like put into it, and or they didn't release the version of the game and kept it so then they could like upgrade it instead of having to have it release around like the same time as the Spider-Man 3 movie, I bet you it could probably be at an A or at a B. I seriously do, but like for some odd reason this game just looked horrible. Like even if you had it on PC on like the highest settings that you could have, the game still looked horrible, and I don't know what it was, but this game just didn't look all that great. And plus, the story was kind of like, it was okay, like you got the black symbiote for the first time, and, or, never mind. That was done in like Spider-Man, that was actually done in Friend or Foe, and it was done in Ultimate Spider-Man, plus you got to play as Venom in that game. And that's the reason why I'm putting it below, because you didn't get to play as Venom. But anyways, so then like I'd honestly put this game at a D. The web swinging was kind of crazy in it as well, because like you would randomly just like start swinging off of essentially nothing that was there. Whereas Spider-Man 2, it kind of made it so that the web swinging actually like connected. Where Spider-Man, it just essentially threw web swinging out of the bat, and it didn't have it going anywhere. It essentially had it going up like there was a metal cloud above you the entire time. And they kind of went right back to that thing for Spider-Man 3, which I don't think that they had webs connecting to buildings until maybe Amazing Spider-Man 2. I think that Web of Shadows somewhat had that, but it still had like the fact that you could like swing essentially wherever. And as long as there was like a tree or something there, then you could at least like shoot the web up and hit like a metal cloud that wasn't like right above you. It just made no sense, and I'd personally rank it at a D, and I think that's where most people would rank it too. But the graphics, like how you go from these 3 games down to this on like release, like even the PlayStation 3 version of the game looked horrible. I don't know how the original Xbox and the Xbox 360's version of the games looked. I only had it on PlayStation 2, and it looked pretty bad, and like the dialogue was kind of funny. But the only thing that actually makes this game okay is that, or well, actually, never mind. I was about to say that it had like okay like combat scenes, and it had decent villains, and it had Venom in it, but Ultimate Spider-Man had that, plus it had better graphics, plus it had like better story and stuff like that. And I'd personally rather play Ultimate Spider-Man over Spider-Man 3. And so now we get to the next game, which might be a controversial spot. So essentially, this was Treyarch's final game that they were going to put out as a Spider-Man game. And also, I'm pretty sure Shaba was a part of that too, but Treyarch was like mostly behind it, plus there was Shaba in like the background. But personally, I never really played through this game all that much. I played through like a quarter of it, but that's only because I got past the point of not caring about like essentially the game having weird audio, which I'm pretty sure that was just my game because the game was downloaded or something like that, and something went wrong with it or something. But like the game's audio was pretty weird. But I've watched back through gameplays of this game, and it seems like this story was really well written. And if we could have gotten another one, then I would have personally enjoyed that game a lot, and I would actually be playing it. And also, if I can find this game on like 360 or something like that, then I might actually think about playing it on the channel. Or if they remaster this game, which I would love to see that, then I would play that game on the channel. Like, it's simple. Like, I would play this game more because I've watched the story and I've watched like combat and stuff, and it's all on par with this game. The only thing that was kind of strange to me with this game was that they essentially used Venom again for like the 3rd time, but they essentially just went out and used like all the popular Spider-Man villains that you'd imagine to see in a Spider-Man game, and they plopped them all in there, and they released this out to the public. From what I know, a lot of people did end up liking it, and I would have loved to have seen another game. The only reason why this is at a B is because we never got a sequel. Hashtag sequel. Like, I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to say it because I never really played through the game. I watched through the entire thing, and I'm kind of mad at myself that I never actually played through the entire game. So I'm just going to place it at a B. The web swinging, the combat, all that stuff was kind of cool. Like, the different choices and stuff in the game, that was also really cool. And also as well, like, just like the whole ambition behind this game was really good. And I would have loved to have seen a sequel. So now we're on to the next game. I feel like Spider-Man 3 is going to be the only game in D. And most of these other games are going to be in either C, B, or A. I can only think of one game that might be in C or A, which it's this game, but we'll get to that eventually. But anyways, now we're on to Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, which I'm pretty sure this game came out 2 years later after Web of Shadows came out. And as far as the game goes, I actually had fun playing through it. I've played through this game at least like 2 or 3 times. Twice by myself, plus I was gonna upload the series onto my YouTube channel, but I never ended up doing that, and I never ended up fully finishing through it because I just never ended up playing the game again. But so what I'd say about this game is simply it had a cool story. I love how they try to do like the Spider-Verse type thing into this game, and I feel like it was really good, and I feel like they did what they needed to do. Plus the noir's dimension, like if you were playing this when you were like 10 or 11 years old, you'd probably get scared with the noir dimension, because that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to make like the noir dimension kind of like a scary horror type thing, and you need to be like quiet around people, where the ultimate dimension is more of like, hey, I'm just gonna punch whatever the hell I can see. And also Spider-Man 2099 and Amazing Spider-Man were kind of just like the middle points between there. So I loved playing the noir dimension, but that's just personally me. And also, I love playing the Ultimate Dimension, where the Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2099 were kind of just there. And also, some of the villains were kind of just like mediocre, except for Ultimate Spider-Man's, where you had Deadpool and Carnage. Those were like the 2 favorite standout fights. If you ask anybody, I'm pretty sure they'd say those 2 fights. And personally, that's what I'd say too. But, so where I'd rank it, I don't know if I want to rank this as a C or as a B. I'm probably going to rank it as a C in my personal opinion, because I feel like these 2 characters... hold on 1 second. Okay, never mind. I feel like the Amazing and 2099 versions were kind of just there as like characters, where if it was like the Noir and Ultimate Dimension, then I'd probably put this at a B tier game. I personally did enjoy it, and it was a good game. It had a decent story. Mysterio Final Battle was pretty fun, because it combined all of like their different attributes and made it into one final fight. But I'd just personally put it as a C because it's pretty mediocre. And next, I guess we're going to move on to Edge of Time, which the most experience that I have with this game was actually on the Nintendo 3DS. I got this game as a gift for for either Christmas or my birthday, and I was playing this game nonstop on the 3DS. I played through it like 2 or 3 times plus, and I would actually rank this game higher than Shattered Dimensions. That's just personally how I would feel. So the reason why I'm gonna place it there is because they got rid of the 2 favorites of my 2 favorites of this game. They put the 2 mediocre ones that people probably didn't enjoy as much, and put those 2 into their own game, and personally made it better, and made those 2 characters more likable, and it had like a decent story too, with like Spider-Man essentially, or like a guy trying to change time, and Spider-Man eventually ends up dying in the game, but he gets resurrected while he's in the our version of Spider-Man is in the 2099 version, and the 2099 version is in our version. Like, it's a really good story. The villain in this game, I will admit, kind of took inspiration from either Spider-Man PlayStation 1 with, like, the Carnage Octopus guy, where instead in this game it was Anti-Venom, Doctor Octopus all added into one character, which I found like this game was really fun to play. I found that its story was really interesting, and if I could, I would also play this game on my channel as well. I seriously would. If I could get this game on like the 360 or something like that, or if I could find it on the 360, I would definitely play this game on my channel, because I personally really enjoy this game. And I have such like fun memories of playing this game. Like when I was like in a Leon's furniture place, I was just playing through like this story while my dad and his girlfriend were trying to like search or look for a couch that they were going to add into their new place. I can remember just sitting on a couch for like an hour or something like that, just playing this game. And that's the reason why I'm going to place it above Edge of Time, because I feel like the two mediocre characters that would bring this game down, they put them into a better game and said, hey, these two characters can actually be cool. You just need like a cool plot. And I feel like this game just had the cool plot, it just had cool everything. That's personally how I would rank it. You could comment down below if you disagree. If you'd put Shattered Dimensions over Edge of Time, I could definitely see that too. But that's just personally how I would see it. And if you'd rather have it like this, then I can see that too. But that's just personally how I'm going to place them. So, the next game we have on the list is Amazing Spider-Man. So, as far as this game goes, it was loosely... Oh, jeez, whoops. It was loosely based off of the movie, and instead of getting Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone and all those guys to reprise their roles in the game, they got some other guy named Sam Riegel to do Spider-Man, and then they got Steve Bloom somehow to do friggin' Kurt Connors, which is kind of interesting, which I don't know which other Spider-Man games he's been in. I'm pretty sure he's been in Web of Shadows as Wolverine. I can guarantee you that much, because he's like known as Wolverine, and he's also known as Vilgax from Ben 10 and stuff like that. But as far as this game's story goes, it was loosely based off. I would put it down just because they couldn't get like Andrew Garfield and all that stuff. But the most time that I remember playing this game was on the PS3 or the PlayStation Vita, because I got a PlayStation Vita from my dad for Christmas, and I didn't know where the heck I could find this game as like a disc or anything, so I just bought it and put it onto the game, and also got it as like a digital version and played through the entire game, got all the suits and stuff like that, and I had fun playing this game. I seriously did. I might play through this game on my channel if people would want to see like that. Like, if people would want to see me play through Spider-Man games on my channel, besides Spider-Man PS4, which that game came to abrupt ending, because for, like, the last mission or two, I wasn't recording gameplay audio somehow, and I didn't realize it, so that game just came to an abrupt ending. I did end up finishing it, and I 100%ed the game, except for I never played the DLCs, which they were pretty decent, but... anyways, they looked pretty decent, sorry. And also the DLCs were kind of interesting in this game too, because you could run around as a lizard. I think you could even run around as Rhino. And on the one of them, you could actually swing around as Stan Lee. But I personally feel like this game actually looked pretty decent too. I know a lot of people would probably rank Amazing Spider-Man 2 below it because people think that Amazing Spider-Man actually looks better than Amazing Spider-Man 2. And also, as well, the web swinging in this game was kind of decent. And I feel like just this game actually had pretty decent story. And so I think it actually deserves a spot at the B category. As far as the next game goes, we have Amazing Spider-Man. And as far as I mentioned, people would rank it below Amazing Spider-Man. And I'm pretty much one of those people as well. Like, essentially everything that they had in this game, they essentially retook it, but made, like, the web swinging a lot stranger because they made it so that you had to press the one trigger to use the one hand, and then the other trigger to use the other hand. That was kind of weird. Which, thankfully, Spider-Man for the PS4 brought that back. I have to thank them for doing that. Now that's stuck, so I'm just gonna place it there, and then once I get it back, then once I get to it, then I'll place it. And also, as well, the graphics on this game kind of looked the same, if not a little bit worse on this. And there was, like, these random odd spots where, like, they had, like, where you had to press, like, different buttons to initiate certain dialogues, and you could never skip them. But I forgot to mention this, the most gameplay experience that I've had with this game was on the Xbox One, because I actually found it at an EB Games and bought it and decided that I would play it. And so that's what ended up happening, essentially. But I would not rank this game the same, but I'd rank it lower, because this game kind of just was Amazing Spider-Man, but they decided to switch up the web swinging and add Carnage at the very end, which I feel like you didn't really do much. Like, Carnage didn't really need to be in it. And I just feel like this game, honestly, it wasn't all that interesting, but it wasn't horrible. I'd rather play it over Spider-Man 3, but I'd definitely rather play Amazing Spider-Man over Amazing Spider-Man 2. And as far as the final Spider-Man game goes, honestly, obviously the main place that I played this game was on the PS4, because that's what I played it on. Which, yes, I do have both consoles, the PS4 and the Xbox One, or now Series X, but I'm gonna keep it at an A. I feel like this game lived up to Spider-Man 2, and even some ways exceeded it. Also, I will put a side note onto Spider-Man 2. The little, like, audio logs and stuff that you could do, or that you could find throughout the missions and throughout the city and stuff like that, those were pretty fun too. And also, as well, with this game, like, the way that you unlocked suits, it was kind of, like, really, like, rinse and repeat. You'd have to just, like, essentially eliminate everybody in a bunker and then go down to, like, where essentially they were keeping captive the Spider-Man suits. But anyways, my mom returned. Yo, what's up, guys? It's me. I'm back. So what I thought was my mom returning home was apparently just a random door opening or something like that. It could have just been the wind outside blew the door that's behind me open, and I thought that it was for some reason somebody coming home. But it's not, so we're right back. I'm essentially recording this like 2 or 3 minutes afterwards. And so I'm right back on here. So to continue on, I'm just going to restart with Spider-Man. I might just cut it right as Spider-Man goes off, or right as I say, like, Spider-Man, PS4. But essentially, Spider-Man PS4 lives up to the hype of Spider-Man 2, and I feel like it kind of even outdid it, so I would put it like higher up. And I'm not going to do that for the rest of these games because I'd kind of rather play like Ultimate Spider-Man or Web of Shadows over Edge of Time and The Amazing Spider-Man. And I'd rather play, let's put it like that. So I'd rather play those games over those other ones, but essentially that's how I'm going to be placing it. Amazing Spider-Man 2. I'd rather play Spider-Man 1 because I haven't really played it all that much. But anyways, so Spider-Man PS4 has a great story. I love Yuri Lowenthal as Spider-Man. He also did Ben 10, which is kind of funny, but anyways, Yuri Lowenthal as Ben 10. That really works well for me. I personally enjoyed him as Spider-Man in this game, and I'm glad to see that he's still continuing them in Miles Morales and hopefully in PS5 Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man 2 PS5 or whatever the hell, or Marvel's Spider-Man 2, whatever they decide to call the game. But anyways, so as far as why I think that this game lives up to Spider-Man 2 and maybe even higher than Spider-Man 2's hype is because I feel like this game, they actually took time and made it so that the web swinging actually connected with the buildings and stuff like that. They actually took time and made like going for suits that you actually wanted easier to get, but you needed to like level up to unlock them. Plus you leveled up and you got more like health and stuff like that. And the Spider-Man gadgets and stuff like that in this game, it kind of feels like Spider-Man turned Batman, but people draw those comparisons all the time, except for Spider-Man is Marvel and Batman is DC, and also Spider-Man is like a teenage kid who doesn't really have that much and needs to like make his income and stuff, where Batman is just like a billionaire, I'm pretty sure, or a millionaire, turned into a superhero because his parents died. Spider-Man's parents died, but he had his aunt and uncle, and his uncle died. But anyways, so I do personally enjoy this game, and if it were up to me, I would actually go out and buy Miles Morales, even if it is the PS4 version, and play through it, because I enjoyed this game that much that I would be willing to go out and buy Miles Morales and buy it over Ultimate Spider-Man, maybe not Web of Shadows, maybe Edge of Time. I would honestly go out and rather buy Web of Shadows over Miles Morales, but I would honestly buy Miles Morales because you can find that easier. And so I personally just feel like this game lived up to the hype of the Spider-Man name. And I feel like whatever they were trying to do with this game, they managed to do it. And they managed to make one of the better or best Spider-Man games currently out there to play. Like, the games that are in A and B, you can tell yourself that you'll have probably a fun time playing these games. The C is kind of just like that mediocre category where if you're a hardcore Spider-Man fan, you probably would like it. If you're not, then you probably won't. D is kind of just like that category where you can probably miss out on these games and not end up playing them because other games did this game better, and or it's just not worth playing. And the games that I haven't played, I wouldn't mind playing Spider-Man Miles Morales and adding this game to this list somewhere. And also Friend or Foe is kind of on that like iffy spot because I don't know if I would honestly play this game. It looks really kiddish to me, and I honestly don't think that people would want to watch the gameplay walkthrough for this game. I'm pretty sure people would more rather want to watch like Miles Morales, Web of Shadows, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man PS4, Ultimate Spider-Man, maybe even Edge of Time and Amazing Spider-Man more than those games. Which, if you want me to play through Amazing Spider-Man, I can definitely do that. Spider-Man 2, I don't know how I'd be able to record that game on a PlayStation 2. Besides if I can somehow use an HDMI cord on it, but I don't think that you can use an HDMI cord on a PS2. Then I'd have to hope that you could play it on a PS3, which even then, I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to get my PlayStation 2 or 3 from my dad's house, because of complications currently. But anyways, so yeah, I would say that if you really wanted to go out and buy any Spider-Man games and you have a PlayStation 2 or you have a PlayStation 4 or 5 because they remastered it on the PlayStation 5, I'd definitely go out and buy these two. These four are games that I'd recommend playing if you're a Spider-Man fan. These games are kind of mediocre, so you'd probably like them as a Spider-Man fan, but if you're not, then you might not. They're okay. Like Shattered Dimensions, I'd put at the very end of B category, which I might actually just keep it there. That looks like a dick now, actually. Never mind. Okay, whatever. This kind of looks like a middle finger now. Yeah, that looks like a middle finger. Or never mind, that's not the middle finger. I'd have to move these two. But anyways, so I don't know. This is pretty rough. If I played through each and every single game from start to finish, then I probably have like a better understanding of all the games and stuff. But Shattered Dimensions and onwards are the only games that I fully played through, except for if you'd count Ultimate Spider-Man, but I played that on the Game Boy Advanced, so I don't think many people would like rank or say like, yeah, you could probably rank it off of that. Like, I'd probably rather rank it off of like the PC or the PlayStation 2 or the Xbox version of the game instead, but I don't have any of those versions of the game, and I would actually really like them, but they're like $50+ for it from what I've seen like on Amazon and that stuff. So I don't know if I'm actually ever gonna buy this game or be able to play it, but if I can, that would be amazing. Plus Web of Shadows, if I could replay that game or like start from where I was and stuff like that, then that would be fun. But yeah, I guess I hope you guys have all enjoyed this video. If you have, definitely do not forget to leave a like. I'm sorry for that random cut in the video, but anyways, that's just how it works. And also, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have, definitely leave a like. Definitely comment down below on what else you'd want to see from my channel, because, you know, definitely I can bring it. And also, eventually, I'm not going to know what to upload. But as far as future uploads that I can say are going to happen, it's probably going to be the Road to Damascus or DM Ultra series is going to continue. And also, I might do a ranking based off of like the movie trailers and just the movies in general, because I've seen all the Spider-Man movies, so I could probably do that. And also as well, I could rank the Spider-Man movie trailers, and you could see where I would place them, plus you'd be able to see all the Spider-Man trailers in one video, and then you'd be able to see how I'd personally rank them. And also as well, do not forget to subscribe for more to come out into the future, because, you know, with my channel, eventually I'm going to end up uploading again. Even if it seems like I'm not going to be able to upload, most likely I will end up uploading again, so you don't need to worry about that. And also, do not forget to turn on the notification bell, because, you know, I'm eventually going to end up uploading videos, and if you want to know when I upload them, then definitely turn on the notification bell. But yeah, guys, I guess really that's been this video. If you agree with me, or if you disagree with me, just comment them down below. And eventually I might actually end up agreeing with some people. And so, yeah. I guess, yeah, guys, it's been me, Spiderman 1. And, yeah, guys. Peace out.